I
Blast
I printed out a piece of paper on a wall on
We're
Facebook.
changing the industry one artist at a time.
Perfect.
What's up, everybody? Let me hit that. There we go. Get some music going. It is another. Oops, hold up. Knew somebody was missing. Let's get people going. Do the shift rule, please. Yeah, it is another Thursday night, 9 p.m. right here. We got your crew, the Power Ups International crew, -1. And we got a special night. We are going to chop it up in some deep conversations with my good friend Jason McLean. How you doing, buddy?
So far, so good. I'm glad you moved D-Ray back over because I was like, what are we segregating here?
Oh, geez.
Okay, so we have established that you are related to Willy Wonka over there. So yeah, 45 seconds in. There we go.
There we go.
I didn't do it.
Can you brighten up? Hey, can you brighten up your audio, your video?
Am I dark?
I didn't do it.
Are you saying that I'm dark, Goob?
I did.
I'm just trying to figure out what men's room stall you're broadcasting from. You sneak into a Starbucks for their Wi-Fi? What you doing here, man?
It's this virtual background that Veep turned on and I can't turn off. Anyway,
He didn't like
on.
your studio?
Apparently not, and that's what happens. But like we said, we have Jason, our own person here, our own X-Files representative, the person that got us the folder with Homeland Security. Jason, how are you doing, sir?
So far, so good. And you should have at least 2 folders by now. If you don't, I'm disappointed in you.
Oh no, we're working on a third. As a matter of fact, tonight will be the third.
Excellent.
So
Good.
before we get started, how's everybody's week been?
Pretty good.
Good.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I went to Ottawa Comic-Con last weekend with my nephew.
Ooh, it looked fun.
My
How'd that
8-year-old nephew had never been to a con before. That was the most fun I think I have ever had.
He
That
looked so happy
How
too.
much cool stuff did you buy him?
Didn't stop. Oh, so much. I said no and not a lot, but not nearly as much as I should have. Everyone would be silent at that.
He looks so happy though.
Oh my god! And he's got this great big. I don't know if you can tell in the pictures. I'll have to send you a close. He's got this great big goofy tooth. It's like the size of his 2 front teeth. It's like one fucking tooth, and it just goofies up his smile so much. And he didn't stop smiling the whole time. And he was so polite to everyone. And he was tapping on people's arms to tell them he liked their costumes. And oh my god, that kid loved to just look at all of the stalls. It was like watching the birth of a tiny nerd, and I loved it.
Our small one the whole time we went to Comic-Con, like every single person who passed, I like your outfit. Can I take a picture with you? We got so many pictures.
He only was brave enough to ask for a picture from like 3 people. Everyone else, he's just like, oh my god, you're this person. Like, it was so adorable. Even Wolverine was willing to hand someone his beer to hold on to take a picture with this kid.
Awesome.
Now that's saying something.
That's great.
Yep.
So I had a great time.
So we're thankful that everybody is tuning in. You could have been anywhere else. You could have been watching the debates tonight, but you chose sanity over insanity. Once again, this is Power Ups International. We also lost an icon yesterday, guys.
Yeah.
Mr.
Ooh, we
Mr. James
did.
Earl Jones at age 93. Go ahead, E.
We lost 2.
Yeah.
One
we
One
lost
today.
two.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Was it Master Splinter?
Yeah.
The original voice actor.
Yeah, his name is escaping me. But he passed today. It's in our group chat, like not
Yeah.
too far back.
The original voice of Splinter, Peter Renaday. Is that his name?
I'm looking right now. I don't want to.
Yeah.
We actually lost 3. John Cassidy died yesterday as well.
No.
Yes.
It's been a
Yes,
rough
he-
couple days.
Peter
It really
Renaday,
is.
you were right.
When did John Cassidy? Really?
Literally, no, he died yesterday. He was only 52.
Wow.
Wow.
Comic artist behind
What the heck happened to him?
Planetary. We don't know yet. But he went to the hospital apparently the other day and he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, but he did Planetary, which is a great run. And he also did Astonishing X-Men. So
Right.
yeah,
And he
great
did a Star Wars thing too. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
man, that sucks.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's been a bad couple of days.
It's been a rough week for the nerding community.
Right. Real quick, I have 2 questions. Number 1, it was just announced yesterday, PlayStation 6
I saw that.
will be out. They're projecting maybe 2025, 2026. Who is ready for the PlayStation 6? I don't even have a PS5 anymore. So
I literally just bought Sam his PS5 last year. He's like barely had it.
Didn't the PS5 like just recently come out? Or
See, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it
been out
feels
for a
like-
little while.
It's been a hot minute.
Because it competed with the Xbox One X,
Hold on.
didn't it?
yeah. So
PlayStation 5.
It kicked me out. I didn't even do anything that time.
Right.
I said nothing.
Uh-huh.
I said nothing.
Said the
2020.
guilty person.
Wait,
Right.
PlayStation 5 came out in 2020.
Yeah, I saw the only
Really?
reason I feel like it just came out. I saw someone complaining saying the PS5 wasn't even 10 years old. I don't know how old they expect other consoles to be before they come out with a new one, but it feels like the PS5 everybody was just fighting for it. And you're right, because that was when we got here. So that seems like really recent.
But here's the crazy thing: the PS5 Pro is supposed to be available later on for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed
Can I
to be
have
out.
questions?
Absolutely.
What is the PS5 Pro?
Just like the Xbox Series 1X.
Wait, that's stupid. It's just an Xbox.
It's a beefier version of Xbox.
Yeah, but then they're just coming out with 2 new consoles for nothing. It's an entire
It's like
console.
a refresh.
That's stupid.
So
It makes
I
you
don't-
know
I'm
what?
sorry.
If it was stupid, people wouldn't buy it.
No, people would because it's a new console and that's what nerds do. I mean, it's
I feel
not like
So-
we don't
Max,
jump at the new consoles. Okay,
So-
first of all, it's not like we don't.
It's-
No.
It's boosting performance by like 45%.
So before Dizzy explains why she feels attacked, one of the big things with this PS5 Pro is allegedly it's supposed to have AI enhanced resolution. So
What?
AI,
wait. Okay, I get you. I hear you. But are they changing the way it looks, or are they? I don't get it.
It'll probably look different.
Are they
like
changing
how
the game?
How like the Series X looks different than the Xbox.
pretty much.
I don't
Now,
get that.
My question
Am I
is:
too blind to get that?
is it really worth $700?
Not when
Hey.
we're gonna have to spend another $700-800 on a PS6. I mean, he went out. I didn't want the new Xbox. I was fine when mine exploded, but he went out.
I have questions.
He went out.
Why
I'm
did-
telling you, I will answer your questions.
It
But he
didn't
went out.
explode. It came
just-
close to
It just kind of smoked a little.
It didn't smoke. The fan just went.
You didn't see the smoke? There was smoke. He went out after work. It was like, oh, I'm running a little late on my way back, but I'll be there. And then came back with a new Xbox.
It was a birthday present.
that I asked not to get.
What were
But-
you doing that you blew up a
Actually, we weren't even
It
playing it at the
It
time.
was just on.
No, it wasn't. We weren't even playing it
It
at the
had
time.
to be on.
I was playing. No, it didn't.
It
I
can't,
was
it can't
playing.
go boom if it's not on.
I'm gonna finish this. I was playing
Dizzy, no.
Diablo 2 Remastered. Dizzy, stop.
It's like you're being quiet. I haven't said a word in like 5 minutes.
I was playing Diablo 2 Remastered with WoG, and then I turned it off. And when I turned it off, the fan just kept like slowly getting louder and louder and louder, and then it started rattling, and then it smoked, and then we like unplugged it, and it just stopped everything. And it never worked again.
Well, no, we never tried it. I was too scared to plug it back in.
I mean, I did.
Oh,
Well, we knew that. That wasn't. We knew that. But still, it exploded. There was smoke. It was an explosion.
So Dizzy, you need to go off on why you feel attacked because you absolutely have been.
No.
Oh no,
it's
she
just-
has.
Yeah, she has.
I was. They were talking about like, it's not like, we just like rush out and buy the console because it's the newest console and we have to
Like,
have it, and that's
that's
absolutely
just-
what I did.
Because that's what nerds do. We go and get the new console because it's the new console. It doesn't.
Yeah, like
It's
when
a
the,
brand
X-
you use.
when
You
the
do it.
Xbox Series X came out, they had. I remember the day that the pre-orders went
Mhm.
live, there were virtual lines everywhere. So I went and I found one that I was able to get into that didn't have me like crazy low at the bottom of the list. And then I got to the checkout and discovered that they're like, oh, only one per household. So I had to ship one to my dad, so they let me buy two. And my dad held it hostage until I brought him a case of beer, all because I had to have it day one.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's very nerd.
Do you want to start the conspiracy theory real early on this?
By all
Yeah.
means.
And again, I'm only half joking about this, but my conspiracy theory is, why do we need to launch a new one right now? Because probably Iran needs some new missiles, and this is the easiest way to get them the guidance chips.
I was gonna say, link this up for me. My interest.
No,
is
I also have questions. So
So this is okay. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. This isn't even like secret knowledge that I stole from someone, because clearly I would never do that.
Is that a flashlight see outside your window?
yeah,
Yeah,
your blinds are
Look.
lighting up a little.
yeah. Look, just ignore the black helicopters. No, it was when the original PS2. I want to say it was the PS2 came out. Iraq actually sent a huge number of Republican guards to the U.S. or guardsmen to buy as many of the PS2s as they could. It was either PS2 or PS3, and they did that because the chip, the graphics chip graphics card was so advanced that that would actually do the job of the guidance chips that they couldn't produce in Iraq. So
You know
the
what? I
easiest
believe
way-
that, because that's like the same thing that the Bitcoin farmers did to GPUs.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, no, they absolutely did. Well, I forget who it was. Actually, I just read about this a couple weeks ago. But it was the military actually grabbed, like, I think it was PS4s or 5s, and like they bought like 100 of them or something like that, and wired them together to create a supercomputer for like half of the cost of building it themselves. Getting contractors to build it. So yeah, my little every time it's like, well, why are y'all creating this weird upgrade? It's probably just the easiest way to launder money to some country that they're not allowed to actually ship to because of.
I really love it
like
when
that.
you come on the show, Jason. I learned so many things.
Yeah, so Jason, to back up what you said, apparently in I think it was right around 2000, Iran imported 4,000 units of the PlayStation 2 to get the chips out of them.
I was
for their
gonna look
guidance
something up to
system.
back that up, but also, Jess says she knows someone who builds missile chips for the military, and I didn't know she knows these people. I have questions, but she knows someone who builds missile chips for the military, and she definitely believes this. And I've never heard it before, but
Believable.
it's believable.
Yep. How do you sell weapons components without selling weapons components? You sell them as a video game system.
Wow.
I mean, it's easy to
Also
ship
allows
them.
you to get past. Yeah, well, it also gets past a lot of like. Oh, I just forgot the word. My brain just went blank. My daughter's getting married in less than 3 weeks, so I barely know what day I'm on.
Congratulations!
Ooh,
Thank
that'll
you.
be fun. Are you thinking like customs checks and stuff?
Well, sort of sanctions. That's the word I'm looking for. Like Iran, or particularly back when before Iraq got blowed up. You have sanctions on a lot of these nations. So obviously, weapons manufacturing is a very, very profitable business. How do you get material to these nations that are willing to pay for it without having the U.S. or the EU or anybody or NATO come down on you? You sell a video game system to, again, Iraq. They actually sent National Guardsmen or their guardsmen here to buy as many as they could, and they just shipped them overseas. Nothing illegal about that. But like Iran's like, yes, we really do love all of these video game systems. Let's buy as many of them as we can. Saudi Arabia doesn't have to do that because we just sell them the real stuff. But yeah, 100%.
Do y'all remember when the PS2 came out and there was like this shortage for like maybe 4 or 5 months that nobody could get a PS2? And they weren't in the stores. You couldn't order them. It was like this whole backlog of PS. I remember that, and now I know why, because it was Saddam Hussein who bought them all.
And Iran, yeah. So yeah, that's because Iran just wasted a bunch of missiles and drones at Israel a few months ago. So Sony
Jason,
just
basically what you're trying to tell us is the weapons of mass destruction that they were looking for were in fact PlayStations.
Yes. There you go.
Whew, I knew not to show up to this thing sober.
Oh, you think it's bad now? Wait till you get to my actual conspiracy theory at the end.
Oh God,
we're going through all y'all's first.
Oh God, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I got to ask this one question, and then I'm gonna just shut up. So I've been seeing a lot of Jason. I've been seeing a lot of these retro gaming systems now.
Yeah.
There are these units that have every game system that has ever been made, and all of the games on this one little thing that you can connect and play every game that has ever been made. And it's cheap. It's like maybe $40-$50.
Yeah. That sounds like it would be expensive.
This is a bunch of like old Super Nintendo, Sega.
Yeah, but if they're all together, I mean, it seems
like
valuable.
But it's all
take up like no space.
But it is also PS1 and PS2 as well.
It seems like it'd be valuable.
So here's my question: why do you think there is such a resurgence in these retro games?
Ooh, you're not going to like the answer to this one. Like this one may be a real downer. Do you want to start with the downer?
Bring it on, Debbie.
I'm already where I need to be. So go right
hey, my mom's name was Debbie, so you're about to get real down here. There's actually 2 answers to
Wait
this.
a minute. Did she go to Dallas? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that would hurt if it was coming from someone who was broadcasting from someplace other than a truck stop. So there's actually 2 answers to this. One, we're all old and have money to buy stuff now. So that's part 1. So
I figured old is where he was going to go with that first.
Yeah. So that's answer number 1. So here's the thing. Pop culture, always, whatever the culture, the retro culture is at the time, go back 20 years, right? In the 80s, what did you see? You saw stuff like Happy Days, right? Which was the 50s, which was 20, 30 years before. In the 90s, it was the 70s, right? That 70s show. You always go back 20, 30 years. That's it. That's all you got to do. All those things are now 20 and 30 years old. So that's part of it, right? It's just nostalgia. We're all old and we all have money. That's it. It is a cash grab because your knees hurt. That's it.
There's just playing on the nostalgia.
But the second answer to this also ties into sort of the broader concept of why is it like the comics that are selling now, excluding manga, right? From an American perspective, the only comics that are actually selling right now, the new Transformers, the new G.I. Joe comics. Everything that's the only, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, basically the only things that are actually selling are things from 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? It's nostalgia. Why are all these movies just doing sequels or remakes of things from 30, 40 years ago? Cultures go, like all things, grow and die. And the problem is we're in a deficit for 1,000 reasons. But we're in a cultural deficit. And so when a culture does that, what it does is it goes back and tries to grab what was popular in the past or things that have been successful in the past and tries to rebreed and tries to use them to cling to bring new life to it. And the problem is you can't eat a sandwich you already ate, right? Which is why everything's diminishing value, because the culture is essentially collapsing because we've lost a lot of there's 1,000 reasons for it, but we're trying to, the only things that are valuable are things that have nostalgia built into them because we're trying to grab onto something that we used to have and we don't have it right now. So like I said, it's a bit of a downer, but the easy one is your knees hurt and you have money.
I dare not ask you the conspiracy theory on why your knees hurt. But moving on, what did Jessica say?
She says, "I know someone who builds missile chips for the military, and I believe this."
Yeah, that was earlier. That was Jess.
Okay, salute to you, Jess. Thank you for joining us. My conspiracy theory I wanted to ask you, Jason, is: has the Moderna shot actually elevated people becoming unalive sooner than they should be? Because a lot of people believe it has.
Are you trying to get kicked off of YouTube now?
Yes, he is.
We in it.
Yeah, well, okay, so they're actually allowing that now. So here's the thing, that's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. That's actually public knowledge, acknowledged by Europe and even Moderna themselves. And basically everyone has. Everything with the RNA shots, they've admitted now, hey, yeah, we lied about the tests and the results. So yes, that's not even a question anymore. It's not even a conspiracy. Like I'm living in this weird world now. Have you ever seen that meme where the guy's just standing out in this open field and it's just me looking for conspiracy theories because all mine came true? That's kind of where I'm living at right now. So yeah, that's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. It's just straight up admitted to by the big pharma and Europe, actually.
That's wild.
Because
and the FDA. Sorry, the FDA also admitted, yeah, there's an elevated risk of being unalive due to mysterious heart arrhythmias.
Well, I don't know about that, and on X, of course, you see these autopsies and they're pulling these white stem things that look like
fibrous
dead
tissues. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that look like dead rosemary bushes coming out of people's veins, and it's just like, what is that?
Yeah, that dropped a couple of years ago. A lot of coroners started asking, like, why are we seeing these white fibrous tissues that they've never seen before? So yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Like I said, it's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. It is.
No fact.
When COVID hit, was immunocompromised, and my doctor told me and the rest of his patients not to get the shot, and to, if at all possible, not go out in public, because his patients that have gotten the shot, it hurt their immune system so much that they couldn't do alive. So he told all of his patients not to get the shot. I haven't had it, and I just after the 4 years that it was hit, I didn't leave the house. I get my groceries delivered. I get the rest of the stuff off of Amazon. I didn't leave the house because I didn't want to get sick, because
Right.
I'm just not strong enough for all that.
Yeah.
So we didn't get it because, you know, anything that he caught from it would come back to me. But
Yeah.
now I'm starting to like slowly go out a little bit more. Now that my immune system's like kicked back a little bit better, and now that COVID's gone down a little bit, and I still haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I'm so let me preface all this with, I am not anti-vax.
I'm not. No,
Right.
I'm very, very.
I'm vaccinated.
pro-vax.
Yeah. Just this is not me saying anything. Like I'm not Kennedy over here. I do believe in vaccines. But that being said, I believe in vaccines that work. Right.
Yeah, that doesn't mean everything is immediately safe. Like,
Yeah,
That point.
exactly. Yeah. Well, and there's also dangers of things where it's called a leaky vaccine. We've seen this in the past, where a vaccine that doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do actually creates stronger viruses. And so, again, this was an unproven technology. It was rushed, and the problem is, let's be honest, the federal government gave all the pharmaceutical companies that were working on this technology. They said, okay, well, we'll go ahead and give you waivers so that you can't be sued for any damages that are done to you, right? And so or that they've done to
so
us.
why does the process have to be done exactly safe or exactly up to code if they're
You're gonna get out of jail free card.
exactly. See, like
Well-
I'm very, very pro-vax because of how easy it is for me to get sick, and
Yeah.
but still, that it was less than safe the way those came out.
Well, and the thing is, part of this is where this would be where the conspiracy theory aspect sort of comes in. Was this planned and designed to be this way? I actually had a conversation with some people I know on air like a year before COVID happened, because they were full on anti-vax on everything. Like, we don't vaccinate for anything. And I'm like, well, hold on. If you do this, there is going to be a spike in things, because vaccines do work. They do help, but there are diseases that we know for a fact have been, like polio has been eradicated in the West up until very recently because of these things. And so my fear was, what you're setting yourself up for, was there would be an actual explosion of something like, say, measles or rubella or something.
We
that
had
would
that.
be, yeah. And it's that there would be a real explosion. You'd have thousands of kids dead. And that would be okay, well, you no longer have an option not to ever, it's just going to be in enforcement. And then like a year later, COVID comes out, which was nothing. I wish I could tell you that I'm some sort of super genius, but I'm going to sit here and tell you, if I'm the smartest person in a room, I'm in a very, very wrong room, right? I am not the brightest bulb on the shelf. That's just, I'm average at best. I just look really good. But
In the right room.
every room is the right room, sir. But no, on a podcast, it was early 2020. I was on a podcast. I still technically do it, but we were broadcasting from downtown Dallas on Dallas on Air. And so the thing is, I was looking like, this is going to end up being nothing more than an actual flu. The only real danger was the R0 value, right? Meaning it would spread faster and to more people, but that we would probably see that the actual death rates would be about the same. And before we had any information on the kids, because now we know it's actually less lethal to kids than, say, the average flu. It was like, this is just a flu. The most we're going to be able to, like, we shouldn't shut anything down. The most we need is, just wash your hands, maybe wear a face mask, but like, that's it. Like, just get real familiar with the hand sanitizer and take basic precautions. We shouldn't shut anything down at all. 4 years later, everything I said was right. And they've admitted it now. Now, here's the problem. Is it because I'm some super genius, or is it just because they, who had all the data, said, hey, how can we manipulate this situation to hurt as many people as possible and do what we want to do? COVID was the biggest transfer of wealth from the middle class and lower classes to not just the one, everyone's like the 1%, not the 1%, to the federal government that has ever happened.
Wow.
Because here's the thing, when you look at people like Google, Amazon, Apple, right? The people who just consumed everything, these companies have more power than most nations on the planet now, and more power than most nations have ever had. and they're all monopolies created by the U.S. federal government. So the question becomes, was this planned? I don't know. I can't say yes or no. It could just be that they said, hey, here's a really good opportunity. Everyone's scared. Let's just, jump while the jumping's good. It's politically convenient for it, for the government, for the big government people. Like, well, this is really convenient. We can scare everybody. We'll just shut everything down, take everyone's money. And now you basically have to work for one of the big megacorps. And we'll set up. I mean, they were setting up like New York. You couldn't go anywhere without a vaccine passport at one point. I mean, people who I knew who are atheists were like, "Dude, this is starting to sound like that whole Revelation Mark of the Beast thing you were telling me about." like people who were atheists were coming to be like,
a fact. Yeah.
They were like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "It's like don't go worry. It's not the end of it's not the mark of the beast. It's not the end of the world. But this is how you get to that kind of setup, where there is some sort of governmental control for you to buy or sell or go anywhere. That's what you're talking about. That is a model. Like, that's all it is. So yeah, the only conspiracy theory we don't know is, was it deliberately planned, or was it just an opportunity to make something out of the opportunity that they had presented.
Okay, V, do you want to do Blast Artist Spotlight, or we want to keep going?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Who has control of the D-Ray's background?
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Hold on. Let me see if I can finesse this. Yeah, I don't have a problem with us doing that. Let me go ahead and do the Blast Artist Spotlight. And of course, I did this exclusively since Jason is with us. This is once again Jay Shaw with Distractions. He loves this song.
Oh, is this it?
Scooby Booty.
You know it. And of course, I don't hear nothing. Do you guys hear anything?
I
didn't hear anything. I'm
No,
prepared
I
for
hear
it too. I'm ready.
What did
for
you
it.
say, D-Ray?
I didn't hear anything.
He didn't have to disappear. I could just cover him.
All right, I'm gonna put it up the other way for whatever reason why I didn't want to play
I can
that.
blame it all on V.
And you should.
All right. Take two. Here we go.
I didn't even know he was awake.
And why is there no sound? Okay. It's going to be one of those days today, I
Are
see.
you sharing it from a file or from like?
Slow, wind it
Oh, there we
up,
go.
drop it low to the flow, get it out. Damn, baby girl, she's a cutie with a booty. She's a snack, call me Scooby. There's a mystery to that booty. Drop it low, wind it up, drop it low, do it slow, wind it up, drop it low to the flow, get it out. What we have here, baby girl, you got me stuck like them high beams and dares. You got me coming out the pocket, buying you in them drinks so we could go cheers. How we sit up like that, like you sit edge on stairs. Oh, man, that ain't fair. No, I got no weakness for the cheapness, and you already know the thesis. I'ma dive up in it like Vest Cargo, I go the deepest. Organs jumping out the way, no, I shattered them to pieces. R.I.P. to the ceases and the losers and defeats. I need that ocean tide flow, I'm trying walls with a squeegee. That's my queen, Nefertiti. Oh my lord, look at them titties. Now let me just digress. I had to just confess that you're blessed with all that sits up in that dress. Did I run into you for a reason? You a big ball of temptation, a lot of teasing. Damn, baby girl, she's a cutie with a booty. She's a snack, call me Scooby. There's a mystery to that booty. Drop it low, wind it up. Drop it low, do it slow, wind it up. Drop it low to the flow, get it out. Damn, baby girl, she's a cutie with a booty. She's a snack, call me Scooby. There's a mystery to that booty. Drop it low, wind it up. Drop it low, do it slow, wind it up. Drop it low to the flow, get it out. I was on a mission before I came up in here, trying to find a clue, but got distracted by that area. No matter where you move and sit back and stare, then your body is still and then your booty everywhere. Damn it, I'm wrestling with that as she wanted me to slam it. I think I get to Randy every time I get savage. A lot of time it ends up tragic. Set the bars past the attic, looking for me with a magnifying glass. Inspect the gadget, now your hook becomes a habit. If you turn down his is a stat, expected me to jump right to it. Bugs Bunny rabbit to them overgrown cabbage, and it's soft and it's tatted, and the way you make it move is like it's voodoo or some magic. I gotta keep my head right. Distractions every day and every night. I see through the disguise when I look up in your eyes. You a devil in disguise and your ass is the prize. Damn, baby girl, she's a cutie with a booty. She's a snack, call me Scooby. There's a mystery to that booty. Drop it low, wind it up. Drop it low, do it slow, wind it up. Drop it low to the flow, get it out. Damn, baby girl, she's a cutie with a booty. She's a snack, call me Scooby. There's a mystery to that booty. Drop it low, wind it up. Drop it low, do it slow, wind it up. Drop it low to the flow, get it out.
Do you know how long it took to get that song out of my head the last time?
It's so good.
Wait, you can get it out of your head?
Scooby Booty is always stuck in our head.
So good. Oh, I just realized my camera is hiding. Second.
No, wait, no, we're watching. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm watching you play Disney.
Well, like all you can see is like. So I'm gonna fix that.
What are you playing?
Helldivers.
Don't worry about it.
Let me go ahead and do my thing here.
Do your thing.
So if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. Well, Blast is also looking for those who are fans of great music. You can also go to blastmusic247.com, register as a unlimited, it's unlimited fan, and get access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. Boom.
Woohoo. There you go.
All right.
All right. So now that we got you demonetized by Moderna.
There goes my funding.
Yep. What's the next conspiracy theory?
Come on, Goob, and go ahead.
No, y'all go ahead. Go ahead, Goob.
Right, I don't have any.
Wait, what are we doing?
Who has?
I don't believe anything.
Okay, great.
Nothing is real.
Something you said, Jason, that I want you to talk about if you have any knowledge of it. You talked about how there is this conspiracy for maybe Americans to not be able to move so freely across the country. Can you talk briefly about this real ID thing that is going to become like a mandatory thing in the next year or so, where you have to have something on your driver's license other than your driver's license?
Yeah. So there may have been some changes since the last time I looked at this. The real ID, the idea was to sort of standardize a lot of this material, and connect your ID with biometrics, right? One of the things I've talked about for a long, like literally over 20 years, was that the push for the push for illegal immigration was going to cause a situation where the planned push for illegal immigration was to push for real ID, so that essentially we would have to be forced into a situation where your identification would have to be connected to you on a biometric level, right? Wow. Thumbprints, iris scans, whatever, to prove that you are who you claim to be. The ultimate goal of this is essentially worldwide IDs, so that your biometrics are known and quantified in a computer globally.
I don't like that.
That's in the entire idea is to know who you are and also where you are and what you're doing at any given time.
I don't even know that about me. I don't like that.
That's where we are. And here's the thing. Here's the worst part of it. You have to understand that whatever the government's doing is usually 20 or 30 years behind. What they're actively doing up front, it's 20 or 30 years behind what they're already capable of doing, right? Like the F-22 Raptor is 1980s technology. That's what you have to understand. Wow. They've had a lot of these ideas for a long time. Implementing it is always hard, but also it's to push us. And as much as we're like the real ID, like all this stuff seems terrifying, and it is, it's nothing compared to this thing right here.
Oh no, mine knows way too much about me.
Facebook knows more about you, and of course, by extension, Google and everything else, than you understand about yourself. Facebook knew a woman was pregnant before she did.
Oh, jeez.
Because
I have questions.
Well, so here's the worst part. It's actually really it's stupidly simple, and it's frightening. Here it is. The cameras, the forward-facing cameras on these things, were designed so that these social media companies can watch you while you fiddle through the app, because they can see when your eyes open and dilate and what you're looking at. They know when you linger over something.
I've heard about that. They can watch like when your eyes see something you like.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
They can. Everyone talk. You've heard about MK Ultra, right? It's it's everyone in the movies. Everyone's like, oh, it's about the ability for the government to create super secret assassins. That is not what it was about. I mean, there may have been like one aspect of it that's what it was about. That's not what MK Ultra was ultimately about. MK Ultra is just a cover name for at least 120 semi different programs done by psychiatrists, essentially with decades of illegal human research, which by the way we know for a fact continued into the 70s, at least into the 70s on American U.S. citizens. Because they said, oh no, this all got done in the 60s. No. It went into the 70s. If you know anything about the hippie movement, the Haight-Ashbury Clinic, that was an MK Ultra project. Charles Manson was absolutely an MK Ultra product, and there's a lot of people who've done a lot more work on that. I'm worried about some of the other things that happened there, but that's irrelevant to the point I'm making.
Before you make your point,
sure.
I believe the Tuskegee was part of that as well, where they knowingly gave young black men syphilis in the 1930s and watched them progress all the way to the 70s until they died.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I was just asking you?
Yes.
But was that okay? Wasn't it like
it was done. It was done to a lot of minorities, but it was really aimed at people who did not have enough money to fight it, or really people that they really wanted to control.
Okay,
in my
but
opinion.
Considering the time period, I feel like instead of a lot of minorities, that would be mostly, considering the time period and who was allowed to work where.
Here's the thing, the Tuskegee experiments are like the tip of the iceberg on all of this, and it wasn't there. The United States government has done stuff out of the country that is way worse.
I'm sure.
And the thing that you need to understand is, trying to say this without getting too far down that particular rabbit hole. Human experimentation has never ended. Illegal human experimentation in the United States has never ended. I have said very publicly, we didn't win World War II. Did we defeat the Axis powers? Yes. But we took as many Nazi scientists as we could, and we brought them here. We adopted every aspect of their science, and we have done things to human beings that you would not believe. And a lot of this actually ties into my conspiracy theory that we'll talk about at the end. But essentially, the human experimentation has never ended. It just looks very, very different. In many ways, the Tuskegee experiment is almost like a face for, hey, yeah, we did this once, but look, we cleaned it up, and look at what we've done. No. That's that's sort of like what's terrible about it is that's almost like the prettier version of what we've done, of what these people have done. And this goes back to this. This thing right here is the byproduct of tens of billions of United States developmental project dollars and psychiatrists and psychologists who performed human experimentation to figure out how your brain ticks, how to manipulate you in ways you've never even thought of.
Wow.
This isn't again, here's the worst part. This isn't even a conspiracy theory. Dr. McCullough had talked about this. His wife or girlfriend, I forget which one it was, at the time, he went and testified in front of Congress saying they showed that Google, with their ads and their promotions, can manipulate entire elections by targeting members of a particular party, and you don't give those members or people who would lean a particular way, you don't give them notifications, but you give notifications to the party that you want, and you can sway elections 3 to 5%. When he testified before Congress on this, the next day his wife or girlfriend, I forget which one it was. No, it's not McCullough. It's Epstein. Sorry, not that Epstein. But his wife or girlfriend was killed in a hit and run accident the next day. Anytime you see these weird things where there's like a politician or someone who goes and it's like their wife or whatever ends up dying in some sort of weird auto accident, no, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Right.
Wow.
Are we getting into Princess Diana territory? Because she definitely did.
Oh, that's not even a question.
She definitely.
Yeah, no, that's not even a conspiracy.
Yeah, no, they had it out for her. She was done for.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
All right, Jason. I think it's settling in now. You know, my elixir. So go ahead and hit us with the conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
ready.
because you seem to have like a grand one that ties into this, and I'm very curious. But also, I'll be back.
Do we not have anything more fun? Because I'm about to hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Oh boy.
That's the best kind.
Okay. No one wants to throw out flat Earth because trust, like, no one flat Earth. Because I swear I will go ape on somebody. That
Earth
is
is flatter.
flat Earthers. People who
I can't say.
genuinely believe the Earth
What
is flat.
was just going to come out of my mouth is not suitable for.
Yeah,
YouTube.
don't get me started on that. I'm writing an entire article on it because it is the most insane. Anyway, but so here's my theory. This is unfortunately, this is where I think most conspiracy theories are either created or perpetuated by the United States, by intel agencies. Not really, the government's too broad a term. By intel agencies and as acts of disinformation so that we don't talk about the real problems. Because we need to go back to where the word conspiracy theory comes from, right? Literally, it comes from the 60s, from the CIA, as a way of discrediting people who were talking about the JFK assassination. And they found it very useful in other times, including the moon landing, which again happened, but NASA actually pushed the conspiracy theory that we didn't go to the moon. They were actively pushing that on the back end.
I might have to break up with my girlfriend if she's on this hollow moon theory. Did you see the?
Oh, that movie! Oh my gosh! Oh, that movie's so bad. That movie is so bad. That movie is so bad.
That's how to break up with my girlfriend.
But so my thought is this: what a lot of conspiracy theories end up being are there's a kernel of truth, right? Well, obviously, again, like the term itself was created to just say anyone who comes at you with a statement that the government doesn't like, you can just paint with a discrediting term, right? You're a conspiracy theorist. Now we don't have to listen to anything you say, right? That's the point. That's the entire point of the program. But a lot of these really, really bizarre theories like Tartaria and you know, flat Earth, all these others seem to be distractions from the truth, right? Like I don't want to get into Pizzagate because it's a little too dark, but essentially you find, well, and the problem is it's true. Everyone's like, oh no, it's like, but we have people in prison and people who didn't who killed themselves. And it's like, but it's clearly true. But what they do is they wrap it, they take a kernel of truth and they wrap it with like this James Bond crap, right? And so we're all looking for these really elaborate, you know, extreme things. And it's like, no, it's right there in the open. I actually did an episode a year or two ago now. Again, I stopped creating my own material because I got other things to do. But I actually, you know, I said, well, who's they? Right? Everyone says, well, who are they? In truth, you will never know who they are, right? Because they're not even really parts of the government per se. It's more of people who the thing is, all this is actually out in public, right? It's the Bilderberg groups. It's the Davos group. When you have people who are just literally James Bond villains stroking their pet cats, going, "Yes, you will eat the bugs and you will like it." It's all public knowledge. That's the worst part. All of this happens in public, but the news media doesn't really report on it because, again, they're bought and paid for. They're just telling you whatever the CIA or NSA wants you to know, right? Whatever's beneficial to the government. So all the people so it does two things. One, you use the term conspiracy theory. Now everyone has to just ignore what you're saying because you're a conspiracy theorist. Therefore, you're crazy. But the other thing is, anyone who would be looking for abnormalities, right? When looking for things when the math doesn't math, well, now they're distracted looking into whether or not the moon landing occurred, or whether or not the Earth is flat, or whatever, right? Or what is Tartaria, right? They're looking for all of these things instead of saying, "Hey, why don't I just go to my local school board and see what they're doing with my money?" Hey, why don't I actually look up what this bill that says, "Oh, hey, it's the I Love Puppies bill," and then you find out, oh no, it's about executing stray dogs or whatever. Like, it's always you get a can of Coke, policy that they always have. They always dress it up with, right? It's like, we love happy puppies and we want to give everyone a Coke, and it's like, no, we're going to go bomb people and spend billions and billions of dollars in this other country, and by the way, we're taking all of your money, right? It's all that's the worst part of all of it, is that it's all right there in public. It's in plain view. But the entire thing is, you create these little conspiracy theories and people start going off on tangents because they're looking for the James Bond villain, right? Yeah. And I mean that, like, they're looking, instead of just saying, "Hey, the guy in front of you is actually the problem," right? The person you could vote out, the person you could actually write a letter to, the person you can have, you could do things, you could actually manipulate, you could actually go to your friends and neighbors and say, "Hey, let's fix this problem ourselves." You're off looking at something else. That's my theory. Is that my one conspiracy theory is that conspiracy theories were both created and supported to not only discredit people who are telling the truths that people don't want to know, but also keep people distracted from the change they could make in their own lives and in the world that we actually live in. Because the most terrifying part of all of this is that the worst stuff is actually right there in public. It's in full view of everyone, and we don't do anything about it.
Yeah, I agree. Wow, the silence is real.
Well, yeah, I was getting to that.
Right hand, so you can't see what I'm doing with my left hand.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that with the way our educational system has been over the last 40 to 50 years, we have conditioned people to not pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
We have conditioned our population to not do research. We are really a country that wants to be of one mind, of one thought, of one action, and people are taking advantage of that, I think, in my opinion.
And it's by design. Every 10 years or so, people seem to find the Yuri Bezmenov interview. If you've never seen that, you need to watch it. It's an interview by a KGB defector by the name of Yuri Bezmenov, and it was in the late 70s, early 80s, and you can tell by the video. Everything that he is talking about today, or that he talked about 30, 40 years ago, should seem very similar to what you're seeing right now, because we're in the stages of what he called demoralization. The problem, it's very easy to think that people at the top are evil, or they're cartoon villains or whatever. I think the problem is basic corruption will cause every aspect of what we've seen. It's not to say that there aren't cartoon supervillains running around. Like I said, go watch Davos long enough, you'll realize James Bond had nothing on these people, right? But the problem is, so much of what's gone on is explainable far, far easier by just simple corruption. The problem is everyone's trying to find a system to solve this, and the problem is there is no system created that human incompetence and human corruption cannot destroy. The problem, we were famously told that we have a republic if we can keep it. When this country was founded, the problem is it requires vigilance. It requires all of us sacrificing to maintain what we have, and then to build something better. I famously have a very brown thumb. I cannot. My gardening skills are so terrible. It's not even funny. Like, it's awful. But in the last couple of years, I finally found a way to keep some things alive, and I have learned a lot about, I would suggest, reality and really society by just doing a simple gardening, just by doing some simple gardening and finally managing to keep an apple tree alive. One of the problems I made very early on when we bought this house is I set some things up. I tried to, because I hate gardening. I hate working in the yard. I really do. I would rather draw and do whatever, right? I got other things to do with my life. And I was like, why can't I just set something up and walk away, right? Like, I just want to set it up, get it nice, and then leave. You can't do that because nature is always trying to consume what we do as humans, right? Nature does not care about us. It wants to consume and destroy what we've built. Society is very much the same way.
Yeah.
You can't just set something up and just expect it to go on for thousands of years. It is a constant building and maintaining and refreshing of what you are doing. It is a conscious effort by everyone. The problem is we thought we could have a society that was always prosperous and wonderful, and we just didn't have to care about it. Well, if you don't care about it, then the weeds will come in and they will destroy it. Because that is nature. That's the reality of the world that we live in. It is constant care, and it takes sacrifice from all of us. And I think so much of our lives are manipulated in ways that we don't realize, because those people understand that principle. Those people understand what this is and how the world really works. And they're happy for us to have an illusion, because it allows them to drain us of everything that makes us valuable, so they can do what they want to do. And they've been trying to do it from the dawn of time. Nimrod was, I'm gonna get a little biblical with y'all here.
Go ahead.
And I'm not about to talk about lizard people or anything. That's all distraction. The spirit of the Antichrist has been on the earth since day one. Nimrod was either possessed by that spirit or he was that spirit. One of the two. And he has always wanted, and it's the same pattern over and over again. Control the world, turn everybody, force everyone to do what they want you to do. The rule of first use in the Bible is the first time a word is used is going to tell you so much about what it is. The first two tyrants listed in Scripture is Nimrod and the Pharaoh. The two things they call out in both times, the making of mud bricks. What is a mud brick? It's made from dirt and water. You put them in a mold. They're identical. They're cheap. They're easy because they have no unique defining feature, right? That's what a brick is. Pink Floyd was not Pink Floyd. Oh, I just forgot who it was. Brick in the Wall.
What book of the Bible was Pink Floyd?
I'm trying to remember. If it was I'll remember it later. But just another brick in the wall. They were completely correct, right? But when God asked for the Israelites to build altars at Mount Sinai, he specifically calls out unhewn stone. The reason that's important is all that rock is coming from the same rock face, but they're all different pieces. They're all different shapes, different sizes. To assemble them requires what's called dry masonry, which means it takes a master mason who can fit each stone together, and every stone becomes important because it's all load bearing. Dry masonry will last for thousands of years. There are not just in the Middle East where there's not a lot of weather to just break these things down, but in the Northeast we have dry masonry that's been around for thousands of years in rain and shine and snow and all the things that should destroy it, it holds up forever because every piece is load bearing. The Bible's trying to tell us that God views us as important. We are all different shapes, different sizes. We've experienced life differently, but his kingdom is taking everyone, putting them together because we're all important and load bearing. The spirit of the Antichrist says, no, you're not. You're a brick. You are pointless. You are uniform, and you are like everyone else because you're expendable.
That's crazy.
That is the two views of humanity. You are either precious and unique, or you are just another brick in the wall. And that spirit, the spirit of the Antichrist, has not changed from day one, and it will not change until he's thrown down. So when you see things and patterns that seem really familiar, because it's doing the same thing over and over and over again until it gets what it wants. And the problem is it's going to get it, and then it's going to get sent to hell pretty dang fast. Because I read the end of the book, and he does. And my favorite part of the entire book is literally Revelation 19. Satan's cast into the abyss, but it's not by Jesus. It's by two unnamed angels. Satan's not powerful enough or important enough for Jesus to care.
That's crazy.
We spend all this time worried about him. He's nothing. He ain't nothing. If you've ever seen the movie Oscar with Sylvester Stallone? If you've seen it is one of my favorite movies of all time. But the point at the end of the movie, I won't spoil anything, but there is a character who shows up at the end during a wedding, and Stallone's character turns and looks at because he's an ex-mobster, right? That's the idea, is that he's supposed to be a mobster turning good, or turning himself right. That's the day. That's the whole point of the movie. It's really hilarious. But he looks to his guys and says, "Get rid of him expeditiously." And you just hear these hup, 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 shunk, and you just see the character carried out sideways by a couple of guys, and that's it. And they just go back to the wedding. That is the book of Revelation. Satan shows up, and he's like, "I'm gonna just destroy everything. Here's the Antichrist. We're gonna destroy everything." Jesus shows up. He doesn't even address Satan. Stunt Angel 1 and 2 take care of him. And then he just goes on doing what he wants to do. The spirit of the Antichrist will do what it does every time. It creates an empire. It wants to control the world. It tries to make us bricks in a wall. It sacrifices a lot of people to do it, but it's thrown down. The last time was Hitler. Before that, it was Napoleon. It goes on and on and on, right? All the way back. We got another one coming. It's fine. Because it always falls. Because it can't stand. Because it's not real.
And y'all thought I was crazy for drinking before this thing started.
Oh, D-Ray.
It's like I've been watching D-Ray, and he's just been like
pounding him back.
Your alcoholism has nothing to do with me.
Hold on. You should have seen. It wasn't even 20 minutes ago. He was already done.
Go ahead and land the plane, Veep.
Yes, sir. So tell you what, Jason, I actually have some questions, but of course, I'd rather save Blast while I can and do it after the show.
There you go. Let's say you've got to monetize on this show already.
Freak isn't even here to make it weird.
You know, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can if his shout out will even work.
Not today.
Yeah, it worked.
Hey,
It worked.
you're playing that game right now.
What the heck is going on?
Hey, wait, Veep, can we?
Recoil.
Oh, recoil is when we leave, but I'll get that off.
That one's just always loaded up.
Freak is one of the people that we play with Dizzy and that game right there, Helldivers.
No.
He's
You
international.
play against.
Oh,
You don't play with Freak. You play
Nobody
against
plays
Freak.
with Freak.
He's blown me up, everything. I mean, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean.
No,
Grenades.
if you play with Freak, you're playing against Freak. He will kill his friends every time.
I got a nerd thing real quick.
Go ahead.
I beat the campaign for Space Marine 2 last night. It was
He did.
fantastic. I
The
played
game
it
did.
12 hours straight.
yesterday.
I
My
played
man.
it 12 hours straight.
We were up till 3 a.m. He beat it.
Woo!
Accomplishments.
And I fell asleep on the couch.
He did.
So as we head out, I'll let everyone say their own piece to the public. So Evich, what would you like to say before we head out?
Be nice to people.
Fair enough. Jason, this is your first time to do an outro. So what would you like to say to the people before we head out?
You know what? You matter. And there is a God that cares far more about you than you will ever realize or ever know. He didn't make this for nothing, and he didn't make you for nothing. You might want to get to know him.
Boom. All right. D-Ray, what about you?
Man, it's hard to insult Jason after he says stuff like that.
Maybe just an opening with that.
Yeah.
He probably should have opened with that. But anyway, no, seriously, love Jason. Love every time he comes on here. And I didn't talk about his stinking Dallas Cowboys once tonight. But
Oh no, trust me, that would have made me happy. Are you kidding? I'll talk crap about the Dallas Cowgirls all day long.
thank you, Jason. That's why I love you. But
I still love you, Troy.
but my parting shot.
We're here.
Life is short. I got reminded once again this week that life is fleeting, and enjoy every minute, every second while you can, because you never know when it's going to be over. So live your life and be nice to people.
Indeed. Dizzy, I know we can't. Oh, there's your face. Sorry.
Yeah, I moved my face a while ago. I fixed that right
Did she?
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Like
What
as
would
soon
you
as
like
I
to say?
mentioned. Oh my god. I was actually just gonna use my moment to thank Jason for coming on here, because I have a blast every time he's here, and I know I didn't talk much, but that's because I'm normally just sitting here listening.
Right. We're always in the listen mode with Jason.
I
no
love
doubt.
listening to Jason. So this is not gonna be the last time we have you, I promise. Thank you for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
And my man Goob, what do you got to say, buddy?
Do what makes you happy and question everything.
Question everything.
Fair enough. But before we also do leave, Jason, you already finished the comic, is that correct?
Oh yeah. So Antarctic Press's horror comic number 34 is out. We have the first story in there. It's called Gray. It's gonna be kind of hard to get at this point. It's been out for a little bit. Did it with my best friend. Actually, y'all know Bonnie. That's her brother.
Okay.
So yeah. So we finished that. So yeah, Antarctic Press's horror comics number 34. We're there. Of course, my stuff's all on Amazon. You can find me. Metroplex Monsters was the last book. I'm working on a bunch of other stuff right now. Hopefully, next couple months, I'll have my website back up and running, and I'll have where we will absolutely take the crap out of Flat Earth, because that really has started to cheese my crackers. But yeah, we got some other books coming out. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So funny to me was that Flat Earth is out, Hot Dog Earth is in.
Tell me, I'm so much more okay with that at this point.
So again, Jason, thank you so much for hanging out with us, bud. Do stick around, because there's some questions I wanted to ask afterwards. And everyone, make sure you be safe, make sure you be kind, because you don't know what someone's going through.
Mm-hmm.
But most of all, make sure you come next week, bring a friend, and when you do, make sure he comes into the
It's all
crew.
about that recoil.
My favorite part is the all holes destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Nobody is. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, wait. Bye,
Yes.
Jess. Bye, Christopher. Thanks for watching. They came in for the first time
Oh
today.
yeah, thank you, Jess, for hanging out with us.
Look at you bringing in viewers.
I did a thing.
All right. Well, again, it was wonderful. Everybody, please be safe. We'll see you next week. Much love.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Perfect.